Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation for our B Lab collaboration for our digital B Corp consultant. Hello and good morning, everyone. We got really nicely introduced from Josephine, this nice Christmas. Yes, indeed. So good to have you everyone here, and welcome to this webinar about our pilot, but also about this digital B Corp consultant. My name is Skadi Mobius, and I'm here joined by my colleague Lense. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good to have you all here. While we are getting started a little bit, please write in the chat what was your highlight this week, and where you're from and who you are. That would be amazing to start a little bit off this Friday morning with some good and positive vibes, basically, and heading into the weekend really slowly. Maybe, Josephine, you can share the presentation so I can get a little bit started on what we're talking about today.
Perfect.
Furthermore, Josephine and me, we are from Move to Impact. We are impact consultancy. We help companies with their way towards becoming more sustainable on an ecological, financial, and social way, and really try to combine that in either helping companies towards a certification, a sustainability certification like a B Corp, or on their way towards becoming CSRD proof for the new non-financial reporting law from the EU. But as I said, I'm really happy today to show you our collaboration with B Lab Benelux, because we created from Move to Impact a digital program for helping companies on their B Corp journey in a completely digital way, because we saw that people are really struggling with a lot of questions, either don't have the means to hire a consultant on their path towards becoming a B Corp, or that they say like, oh, we really want to do it ourselves, but we need like a little bit of nudge and didn't know like what kind of questions to ask and these things. So therefore we developed this digital program, and we want to share a little bit more about it and how it works, and how also our pilot with B Corp together works.
Perfect. Let's get started.
Let's get started indeed. I went a little bit through that already, so we can, I think, skip through that. And yeah, like I said, we are going to talk a little bit in the beginning, a little bit about what is a B Corp in general, for the people here in the webinar who doesn't know or don't know what B Corp is, and just wanted to check in with that. But we're not going to stay there for really long, really introducing the digital B Corp consultant, how the phases work, how this platform basically works, and also how our collaboration with B Lab Benelux works in that. Yeah.
Perfect. So what is B Corp for some of you who might not know?
Sorry, I see in the chat, like, sorry, yes, you will receive the slides. Sorry, Josephine, go for it.
No worries. We'll send them along afterwards. So what is B Corp? So it may be very familiar to a lot of you. You may see in your house a lot of the B logos around, but just to give a brief overview, B in B Corp stands for a benefit corporation. So it stands for the motion and movement of business for the force of good and business for benefit. And it's a certification process, which assesses your company on a social and environmental impact using a holistic approach, which we'll go over briefly. It's also known to be quite a challenging or rigorous certification process, and it's assessed by a third party, so B Lab, and is worldwide known and recognized. So we also have Sistema B in Latin America, so it is a well-known global system. And what does it mean to be a B Corp? So what does this mean? What do you stand for? And as a B Corp, you are transparent in everything you do. You monitor your impact and you communicate this transparently. You set targets and goals, and you're doing business for the force of good, as I said. So then what are some benefits to becoming a B Corp? We've summarized what we believe are the 8 key main points, but just to pull a few out of there, We believe one of the benefits of becoming a B Corp is you gain more credibility because you've gone through this rigorous process. You're willing to put your data and transparently be out there. So it helps you gain more credibility, as well as it's attractive for new talent to be a B Corp and to stand for these high social and environmental standards. So it can help attract new talent. As well, it can help you expand your network. So learning from other B Corps, it's also other B Corps want to learn from you. So it helps you gain access to this huge community of existing B Corps and to be a part of that. So those are kind of, I mean, some of the other ones are interesting to think about as well, but we really see a lot of benefits towards becoming a B Corp. So now that you know what a B Corp is, how can you become one? And very simply summarize the B Corp certification process. So like we said, it's an N certification, involves most primarily the B impact assessment, also known as the BIA, which is an online questionnaire, so created by B Lab. And these answers lead to positive impact. So the questions that lead to positive impact will give you points. And then currently there's a scale where you need a minimum of 800 points to gain this B Corp certification. And they're based on 5 impact areas. So like I said, it gets a holistic understanding of your company, which I'll briefly talk about. Following the BIA, there's a potential validation interview. So where you need to provide evidence or discuss different topics that you've answered in the BIA to make sure and to validate the answers that you've given. And then if you're successful with the interview as well, you get to the point of signing the B Corp Declaration of Interdependence.
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, yeah, good, thanks. Are you okay to start?
Sorry about that. So once you've signed the B Corp Declaration of Interdependence, you are formally a B Corp. But B Corp and B Lab is also really keeping watch to make sure that you're keeping up with doing the good impact that you're doing. And so there's a recertification every 3 years. So those are a few of the key points to keep in mind. And like I said, it assesses your company holistically. So what are those different impact areas, which is what it's called in the BIA? Those are workers, community, environment, governance, and customers. So it covers this wide range of different elements of your company in the assessment process.
Yeah. So that's a little bit for the B Corp part in general, and also just going back to the last slide. In that sense, it's you might have heard that also the standards are going to change from the B Corp regulations and standards basically. So, but these will be implemented or starting to be implemented in the beginning of 2024. So after like 1.5 years or something from now on, the new standards are going to be put in place. So therefore, plenty of time already and still for you to get a B Corp now already and not waiting basically for the new standards, because that would then influence you over 3 years basically when you're in there. Because when you're a B Corp, then after 3 years, you will be recertified, what Josephine just told you basically. So yeah, let's dive into the digital B Corp consultant. So when looking at this process basically of becoming a B Corp, there are quite some challenges. Like for example, how can we answer the B impact assessment, and also on what kind of points are there, and we actually need to understand what kind of questions are this actually like at the B impacted consultant. For example, there are questions in the BIA of like, so what percentage are beneficiaries in your community or something that you're helping, and then you're like, oh, what does beneficiaries means, and how can I interpret this? And like there is a lot of questions basically in the BIA where you would need basically expert help a little bit to interpret that, and not having a more struggling part basically on your B Corp journey. Therefore, we get asked a lot from clients to help them in their journey, and you can also find on our website like different versions basically of us helping you. But what we saw, there is a lot of question also for, how can you help me in like the smallest way, basically. So how can we not just hire you, but like have a little bit an information session or something and get started? That is why we created the digital B Corp consultant program. It's really a step-by-step program, like an online university, for example, but in a practical way for your team, for your B Corp team, or for your company to be guided through the B Corp certification, so that you really can follow your own timing and everything in an online way. And there are, it's completely structured that way so that you can just follow the path. And on that path, basically, you will be guided with actions and tools and also expert help and videos on how to become a B Corp. Like it stands there also, it's really actionable steps. You have downloadable templates also on what kind of emails you have to send out, for example, for your suppliers check, or policy templates for how to get all the policies, for example, like a breastfeeding policy, or your code of conduct, or health and safety in your workplace. All these policies are able to get basically on this platform. And you have, in each step, you have the possibility to book a session with an external consultant. If you say like, oh, this is like so much that you think, oh yeah, this is something really where we need support. But the whole program, the whole platform is really the idea to support you during the full B Corp path, so that you really get basically certified in the end. If your company obviously puts in the work to become more sustainable, so we can obviously like not promise you to become a B Corp, but all our knowledge is basically structured in a way so that you can become a B Corp completely on your own digitally. But as said, if you need a consultant in each of the chapters, you have an external consultant, either from us or one of our partners that is expert basically in your field or your sector. I already saw some people also in this webinar, which we're talking to. So that's really nice, and gives you a full package basically of consultants that are connected to this platform. But let's move on and see how this actually looks like. So we structured this digital B Corp consultant in 8 steps. This is also our consulting process, so therefore it makes it a little bit easier for everyone to digest. Really in the beginning, hey, how is this platform, how is this program actually working, so that you can have a look and we guide you a little bit through it. Also, where can you get help when you have technical problems or extra questions for your B Corp path, you can find that there. Then there's an introduction to the B Corp certification in general, because the most questions we get in the beginning, how can we support other people in our company? How can we answer their questions? How can we get other people on board to help our team or me as sustainability manager to support basically a company in becoming a B Corp? So you find PowerPoint slides, emails, all of that, and kickoff sessions, all of that in this program basically, or in that second step. And the third step, involve your company further. We really help you to really develop this like kickoff sessions, and tell you also, hey, these were our challenges. This is our lessons learned. So you can get help basically from up in that sense. And then really diving into the B impact assessment, starting answering the BIA, and what kind of first questions are in there, and how you have to structure that also with the team, and who should support you basically, who should you ask for information and all of that. That is also in the 5th step. So if you have a little bit an idea where you are on the B impact assessment, that you can prioritize these steps basically on becoming sustainable, so that you can really in the 6th step then on a short, mid and long term, in 3, 6 or 9 or 12 months, then basically see where are you standing, what are the actions on the short, mid and long term, and how can you divide that by your teams and the actions, so that not everything is like on you as a person or is on the others, but that it's a really well balanced structure and project management. But then also in the 7th step and in the 8th step, that you really have a strategic roadmap. So what are the next steps after knowing basically your baseline, where you're standing and what you have to do to become a B Corp, but really like, when do you have to submit your B impact assessment? When is the assessment interview coming? How can I prepare for that? What are evidence which I have to prepare? All these questions will be answered in the 7th step, and also then in the 8th step with, for example, the policy templates, other preparations for the interviews. All these elements are in there, so that you really can, with a really easy feeling, can go into the interview and think like, oh, I know what's going to come. I feel supported, and I can actually support my team or my company in becoming a B Corp. That it's really not only for you to understand what B Corp is and how to get there, but really to support you also in your B Corp journey in your company.
Thank you, Scotty, for this overview. Now I'm just going to give a short little demo of what exactly this program looks like. So this is the first intro page to the platform. So it's using a software program called Hubper. It's an online, and as you can see on the right, these are all the different modules of the course. So for example, you'll start with getting to know the program. Just very basically, what exactly is this online and learning environment about? And each of these 8 parts, as Scotty just explained, are then broken down into smaller subparts. So we've really tried to make it into bite-sized pieces. So if you see on the left here are exactly the components of this part that you're in. So you're just getting to know the program. What does that mean? So here, for example, if you start getting to know the program, we have a welcome video, as well as the text of the video directly underneath. So in case you would just like to read it. And then each of these parts also has different visuals to help you move through the program. So this is just to show you the way that it's a very multimedia program with different ways of learning embedded within the course. So this is about getting to know the program, and then we dive into the 8 steps. For example, introduction to B Corp. And as Scotty mentioned throughout, if you need extra support or extra consultancy options, we also have extra support options throughout the entire program. And at the end of each part, we have you complete a short survey. So essentially, you're filling in exactly what are the tasks that you completed. So a task checklist, as well as then a bit of feedback before you move on to the next section. So there we want to really pause you a bit and have you think about what did you exactly complete in this last section. And so there we can really see the overview of the 8 parts. So the structure of the program, visual overview, knowing exactly where you are in the program. So each time we give you this map to see those 8 phases, where are you right now? An overview of your first tasks, which include a little sneak peek, but creating a folder structure, setting up your BIA track. So each of those tiny little steps are included and guided through with videos, with text, with tips, with things to watch out for. So also caution buttons that we make sure that if there's a certain element of setting up your BIA track that's important for all the future questions that you're going to be answering, we help guide you through that. So this is just one small snippet of the entire program, but just to give you a clear visual of what that looks like. As I said, the task checklist and feedback at the very end. And here, for example, is the introduction to B Corp. So a little bit of what I just explained. You have the caution. We also have short video, so in 2 minutes or less explained with each of the different parts, walking you through. So this is how it's really like a university course. So it's like going back to university a little bit in terms of walking through introduction to what you need to learn, doing small homework or small quizzes to really make sure that you've done those tasks, and walking you through the entire B Corp certification process. So yeah, so that's to really give you a visual of what we're talking about when we're talking about this digital B Corp consultant. So are you still supported? Yes, completely. We hope even more to an extent, because you have the expertise of multiple consultants supporting you along the process. It also has a lower price point. So we do see with the recession, it may be difficult to maintain the sustainability initiatives and to really keep up with making those changes or working towards the B Corp certification process. So we thought, how can we combine all the same knowledge, the same content, but at a lower price point? It's also really guided along your own timeline. So when you're able to put in a few hours or working on it as your team would like to, and everything is stored in one organized place. So if somebody is just joining the project or just joining on the B Corp certification process, they know exactly where to jump in and where all the information and the templates and everything is. So it's not like anyone's being left behind, or can easily be onboarded and up to the same exact point that you're at in the B Corp certification process. There's no weekly project status meetings, so it reduces the number of meetings and just really focuses on moving forward and getting the process started. You can also monitor your progress within the program. So I forgot to mention that, but there's a progress bar at the top of the program. So each part that you do, you can see what percentage of that part and the overall process you're at. So how far you've gone, how far you still have to go, to really monitor your progress and see, oh, maybe we should pick it up a little bit, or maybe we're exactly where we'd like to be. As I also mentioned, this is really my favorite part, is that there's a mixed range of learning and implementation methods. So videos from different speakers as well. There's these short checklists and different ways to really engage with the content. It's not just going through, but it's just as if someone was walking you through it right there with you. And also we've included different lessons learned and tips from other companies. So like I said, it's really this expertise and knowledge from other companies.
Yeah. So what is especially about the B Corp pilot in that sense, but also in general about the whole program, is that the duration of the program for the baseline measurement is 1 to 3 months, depending on the size of your company. But the whole program, obviously, like to become a B Corp, the whole path most of the time to become a B Corp as a company is 1 year to 1.5 years. This program can guide you through all the steps, but really to create a baseline is up to 3 months. You will see that in the pilot overview in a little bit as well. The hours which we see the most companies have to take basically to use either the pilot or the program, or in general to go through the B Corp certification path, is 3 hours for the project manager for 10 to 12 weeks, including the practical steps. And then they either have a support team or go through that basically alone. And the support team needs to put 1 hour approximately per week in there for the 10 to 12 weeks to create the baseline measurement. And then obviously to create all the sustainability steps and create more sustainability in your company, or include that more, that obviously like takes more and is a whole transformational process for your company. Then that's really important in that sense to mention again, it's really actionable steps. It's really like each chapter has really the tasks for you basically in there, a little bit like a book you had in high school, like, oh yeah, you have to work through it to gain basically better knowledge or gain a certification. To really have the tasks basically in there, that is really task oriented for you. And then the support part, that is really like a unique data-driven tool, which we developed from ourselves for Move to Impact, a prioritization tool that you really can see how are you moving forward in your B Corp process, not only with the platform we created, with the program in there, but also we had developed our own tool so that you can measure where you are on the point system with B Corp, so that yes, you're creating impact, but since it's based on earning specific parts of points, that you also can see where you are at there. So that is included in that program, but also email templates, PowerPoint, explanation videos, and optional consultant parts would be mentioned. And our consultancy pilot together with B Labs Benelux starts on the 27th of January. Yeah. like Josephine explained really well already, like how this platform looks and how you can use it. But now a little bit in the practical steps, how is this pilot basically working? To be concrete, we already did a pilot and it worked really well. Like we got like raging applause basically from our clients that tried out the program. They're really like, oh my God, this is like above expectations. There were like some minor points at the moment with some audio parts which we are fixing at the moment. So that is really going really well. So the pilot with B-Lab Benelux is especially because we want to create more benefits for all the B Corps which want to go through and really have like more connections also to other B Corps and be more included in the community, and also obviously seeing whether this like digital program can be rolled out basically together in a bigger part also for the new standards which are coming up. So that's an amazing part. The pilot which we put out starts at the end of January with them together. We have a kickoff session on the 27th of January, like we showed in the slide before. Then there are these 3 months, which we talked about, to really like go through the BIA with the platform and all the information in there, to go through there so that you can do that all on your own. Then at the end of basically that of filling in the BIA and knowing your priorities and all your actions, we will have an event together with B-Labs Benelux and with us to check in with you and looking how everything is going, what extra support do you need, and that then is the long-term part, basically, that you do the actions. So like here is a little mistake within 1 to 1.5 years. That is the long-term actions, not the 1 to 5 years. 1.5 years was the idea. You can basically create all your sustainability actions with your company, and at the end of the year, basically, we have a conclusion and strategy session in there to push you basically even more forward. So this whole program is basically sold at the lower price point, but you get all the benefits basically of having B Corp Benelux and also us, and some specific points basically to give you feedback, and you can use the whole platform during the period basically, so that really your B Corp path and your journey basically is supported with this platform, but all you have a little bit bonuses basically on there. Yeah. That is a little bit what you can expect from this program. And I put in the chat the link also to the website, basically, where you can find the pilot program with B Corp Benelux and us basically together. So if you want to check it out, if you want to enroll for it, then you can do that till end of the year so that we can start on the 27th of January. And then, as I said, like it's a lower price point. We normally would offer this B Corp digital B Corp consultant for 1,500 euros for half a year, so that you definitely would go through the baseline and get everything started, and then can go further with all the strategic steps if you want, but you don't need to. At 1,250 euros for these 6 months. A normal carefree B Corp consultancy package with us would start at 6,000 euros and could go up to 20,000 depending on where your company is and how complex that the structures in your companies are basically. So therefore, that is really a lower price point, which is possible for startups, medium-sized companies, or as a supportive tool, basically for corporate companies. Yeah, this is basically what is offered only for this B Corp pilot with B-Lab Benelux together.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So if you want to get in contact with us, obviously you can do that here. The QR code directly brings you basically to our agenda overview that you can plan an extra meeting with us. If you say like, hey, I actually have some extra questions, basically, you can scan the QR code and can book on the B Corp information page a meeting with us. But now we are also really curious about your questions and what you want to know. So I saw already one question in the chat.
What type of company or company size benefits more from the Digital B Corp Consultant Program?
Yeah. Very good question, Crystal. Indeed, it's definitely small to medium-sized companies which benefit in the way that it's in a lower price point, but that they're still get the knowledge and the support basically in on their path. Also, if you really are new in a company and you don't know what to do basically, or don't know the steps, or you have anyways too much to do as a CSR consultant, or you basically don't have so many people, then this is really amazing, because it definitely gives you all the support you need in this path. But as I also said, like big corporates, they also have the possibility to use this element, which we also saw already, that if they have changes in with their employees within their teams, it's really hard to get them completely up to speed and know really like, oh, what's going on? How does that all work with the B Corp path and what is in there? It's really a good trainings program in that sense as well for new employees. So you just add that basically to your onboarding week, and then you're completely done on helping them to support your company in becoming a B Corp. So that is really really nice as well. So it's really a combination of either small, medium sized companies which really benefit from the tasks which are in there, and bigger corporates which are benefiting on the onboarding level with it.
We have another question from Andrea, who's asking, do companies get tips directly from the digital consultant to get higher scores on different categories? Is that in-house knowledge? How many points and what to do to improve?
Yes, you directly get tips in there, because in our prioritization tool, which we developed to Move to Impact, there we also have an overview on low-hanging fruit questions within the B Impact assessment. So therefore you can see specifically for your company what are questions or what are basically actions they can take, which are easier to do basically, which they can actually improve their sustainability steps and their path towards becoming a B Corp easier, or where they can say like, oh, I'm struggling to figure out what are like easy steps for the beginning, so that you can tackle like bigger sustainability challenges with the time, so that it's more realistic for you. So that is definitely in the tool, which you get when you're going through the program basically, you will see how to get the tool basically there. Yeah, definitely. And also what we have in the program is that we have our frequently asked questions, so that how to answer questions and what is the easiest way basically to fit and wiggle your company strategy and your business model within the questions. We have that basically in the questions as well, to interpret the questions better. So therefore you also improve a little bit better on your points. But as said, it's not about, in that sense, improving points. It's really about like creating more impact. And for us, we wanted to show companies basically that, okay, if you're not able to get like a really big question, where you get like 10 points, for example, for that, this is not ending your sustainability journey or your B Corp certification journey. You can also answer and do like little improvements on your company, on a sustainability way, on your path to that, and still like basically reach 10 points or more points with questions or not so big and complex parts, so that you not get frustrated basically with the way, but like tackle the questions and the steps and sustainability aspects of your company as they come and as they are realistic for your company. Yeah. Are there any other questions in here?
I don't see any at the moment.
Yeah. Josephine, do you have something where you think like, oh, we forgot to mention that, or what we know basically what frequently asked questions are?
I think maybe like off of the back of the frequently asked questions, supporting for the BIA is really, we've created a manual for each of the impact areas, which includes this frequently asked questions, which includes tips and tricks, and understanding of the impact area, so that we really have created a comprehensive guide for each of the impact areas. So I think that's really helpful to know that that's in there, and then moves to this prioritization. So how to take those actions identified in the BIA and to prioritize, not just sit and not know what to do with them now, for example, but to really know how to put them on a timeline, how to make them either short-term, mid-term, or long-term actions. Yeah, I think that's really helpful. And maybe just going back briefly to Christelle's question, the program can be done with one project lead. So it could be an intern who's specifically working on sustainability and is asked to work through the B Corp certification. So it's definitely possible for one person. We prefer if it's a bit more of a team, especially since we know that sustainability and real impact and real change only can really occur if the whole team is working together and it's not just one person on the. So it can also be one individual and then different colleagues working on each of the 5 impact areas. So that would then be a team of 6. So we also foresee that maybe for a larger company that has more employees could then really distribute themselves across the impact area and maybe complete it in a shorter time. But it's also possible for one person to do it all, or for a smaller company, potentially also a team of 2 or 3 to split up the impact areas. So we've seen companies do a range of those ways. So just to really clarify that it can be for any type of company size, and it's also built in there that it's possible and how to work with just one person or 2 people and how to work through that. So the program itself is built for different sizes of companies from first, to work through the just to clarify on that.
Very well said indeed. Yeah, it's in that sense multitasking. I also was yesterday or I gave a workshop for a company that wants to basically get back into the B Corp path, because like they worked a lot on that, and then their direction changed completely. Like their level got exchanged completely, so there was a different energy in the company and like a different drift, and also the teams changed a lot, so they wanted to get back into that and really wanted to get the team completely started new. And for them that program definitely was very interested as well, because like they are so decluttered basically with people who know a little bit about B Corp but also doesn't completely know what is going on and come from completely different companies.
We have one more question from Christelle, which says allows the program also to reassess the efforts when it's time for recertification. To
be honest, no, it doesn't, because the recertification process is really well managed also by B Lab itself. There are some manuals from them online as well. We're thinking about it to do a small program on that, but it's really such a small program, or such a small step in that sense, to really update your financial documents online, and then you have a whole new BIA, and then you can just fill it in or can adjust a couple of things in there. And since also B Lab always has the newest standards, which you should fulfill, and therefore it changes also so much that it's so flexible, so that we're saying, hey, this is really changing so much, and it's well documented from B Lab, that we think that is completely sufficient, basically, because one of our core values basically of Move to Impact is really hey, make it practical and make it user friendly, so that it's not something extra and we have to sell something for selling something. No, if there are things out there, for example, these manuals and things, then you just should use that. Also in the platform, there are a lot of links also to B Lab bags, so that you can see when it's better summarized or when there is a good overview or something, then you get all the information basically from them in that sense. And like I said, the program really focuses on the lessons learned, and and the tasks, and explaining the tasks specifically with the challenge we experienced as consultants, and then the links to B-Lab is especially on more in general information about the B Corp certification process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but good question. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Are there any other questions basically about the pilot with B Corp, or with about the digital B Corp consultant in general? Because if there is not, then I would tell you again, like, hey, have a look at the website we are posted in the chat if you're interested to join the digital B Corp pilot with B-Lab Europe, B-Lab Benelux together, and with us, so that you get all the benefits of the events we are extra hosting next to the program you're going through.
Exactly.
But at the moment, I don't see any questions anymore. Please feel free to contact us on the QR link or on our emails you can see over there. And then I'm wishing you an early good weekend and a good pre-Christmas time, basically.
Happy holidays, basically. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Josephine. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.